Hello, Knights fans. Back with this week's edition of the Knights Baseball Roundup. Here with head coach Justin McKay. Coach, you get back into conference play this week with Sacred Heart. You picked up a win in your 3 games at Mount St. Mary's last weekend. Dropped 2 games here at Iona and Seton Hall. But the big news of the week, you have the reigning NEC Rookie of the Week in Sal Monticciolo. Just talk about his success. And I mean, he had 14 RBI last week in 5 games. That's a pretty good rate there.
Yeah, Sal's been a big part of our lineup from day one. One of the things about that's coming with his at-bats is they're long at-bats too. I mean, the grand slam he hit at Mount St. Mary's was about 6, 7, 8 pitch at bat, where he was battling, found pitches off, and then finally got the one he wanted and hit the home run. So, it's been he's been ahead of the curve. He'd been ahead of the curve as a freshman, which we expected out of him coming in, and we hope we continue throughout the season.
Yeah, has anything surprised you about his game? His power numbers? I mean, he's leading the team with 5 homers. He's now up to 20 RBIs on the season.
I think what the thing that's impressed us the most about him is where he's improved in the other parts of the game. Defensively, he's improved significantly. Base running wise, he's improved a lot. And his readiness at the plate has really improved. So as far as the numbers, I feel, the guys that hit around him make him better as well. Having to pitch to McDonald and Frank and Tommy Riccitti in front of him has been a big part of it, because it's putting guys on base and they got to pitch to him. So, that's expected. But what has been ahead of the curve with him is how he's picked up the rest part of his game.
With so many new guys here in the fold, is it something of a feeling out process for you? I know you had so much practice with these guys and you recruited these guys, but once game action happens, are you learning things on the fly about your team as the season progresses?
Yeah, completely different. I mean, you practice and you play inter squads, and with guys are comfortable playing against each other, and perhaps our arms are not the same caliber arms as some of the arms we've seen. So things really change. And we're still feeling out our team as you can see the way we're working. We're still week by week, guys are getting better, and also some guys are struggling. So we're still learning each week. We got a good win against Mount St. Mary's. I mean, look, they're a playoff team last year, and they didn't lose anybody. And they were a very older, experienced, composed lineup. They have a true ace. Their number one is a true guy, and he's going to beat a lot of people. So, getting one win on the road at a conference, I mean, for a young team, it's a start. And, this upcoming weekend, we expect to do better.
Yeah, so the record isn't obviously what you'd like it to be, but at the end of the day, you're 1-2 in NEC play, and that's the important thing. So as you look ahead here to Sacred Heart this weekend, another chance to get some more wins in conference play and make a run early season at the conference tournament. How much do you talk to your guys about that? Forget the overall record and really focus in now on these NEC games.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the record, look, we played some good teams, and to give credit for each team that's beat us, we want to make sure we give the proper credit there. When you play 13 games in 13 days, being this young, that's a mistake. That's something that we need to correct going forward, and that we haven't had a single cancellation this year in the Northeast. The weather's been very completely opposite of what we've been used to these past couple of years. So it's a heavy schedule with our weekend games and 2 midweek games, and this today will be our second practice we've had in 18 days. So we just haven't been able to practice very much. So guys are kind of, when they're struggling or there's an adjustment, we're doing it on the fly right now. So we're really excited to practice today, to be honest with you, and we're going to keep them motivated.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Everybody looks forward to games, but in this case, you're looking forward to practice, getting those extra reps for some of these guys. As you look at this series, you're throwing 3 guys that haven't necessarily been in the rotation all season long. You got James Donlin, Griffin Gilbert, and Emmanuel Corcoran. Is this kind of like, well, I know during yesterday's game against Seton Hall and the Iona game, you kind of mixed it up. I think a different guy almost threw every inning of the game. How much of that is you trying to figure out who's going to have some success and then look into the weekend and put those guys out there into the rotation?
Yeah, 100% is that. I mean, Griffin Gilbert broke his hand, so he was out. This would be his 3rd or 4th outing only, so we just got him back, but we had big expectations for him, and when you're dealing with young guys as we are, we only have 3 seniors and 3 juniors, as they're up and down. They're up and down, and sometimes it takes you have to You have to sit them down and take a step back and let them correct what they're doing. And then there's some guys, their confidence are really high, and you got to ride with that. So that's kind of how we're mixing and matching until the right mix comes in the fold.
And obviously you and Coach Anderson have been a part of this program for a long time. You bring in Brian Radzewski for the pitchers this season. But how much do you rely on Evan McDonald? I know you don't have a lot of senior leadership, but you have Bobby Romano and you have Evan McDonald and Dylan Forsythe. And even James Donlin, to a degree, has been here for a couple of years now. Do you rely on those guys to kind of be in the locker room as a voice?
Yeah, heavily. I mean, we look forward to when Bobby can return. I mean, he has an injured shoulder and he'll be out for a few weeks, and unfortunately making an effort play, laying out. Evan, what I try to get Evan to focus on is baseball. He's so focused on being a great leader. At times I got to ring him back and say, hey, let's focus on the game and just baseball. And I need him to be a little more selfish with his baseball approach. But he's doing that's the kindest thing I can say about him, because he's an unbelievable leader, as you know. And James is, incredible leader. He'll throw left-handed, right-handed, underhand. He'll do whatever we ask him to. He'll play shortstop if we ask him to play. Of course, I lean on them a lot. The other thing is, as a coaching staff, we have to step up a lot too. And it's just the communication has to be constant with young guys, because it's just they're up and down, and I really see us turning a corner. I mean, we're starting to play better baseball. We really are. And the California trip was a whole different experience, just based on the caliber of players that we played. And then we came home, and we got through the stretch of the 13 games in 13 days. And I think the back half of the season will settle into a little more routine. We'll be able to get more practices in. So but the older leaders have done a good job.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much baseball still in front of you. We keep lamenting on some of the start here, but he said everything's really still in front of these guys. And with the younger guys, they do tend to get better as the season goes on, and they're learning on the fly, as all of the staff and players are. And then, so now you look ahead to this week, and you got 3 games here against Sacred Heart, another tough NEC foe. But again, you can get a chance to get above 500 in conference play early in the season. What have you seen from Sacred Heart, and what do you expect in this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I tell the guys we have 21 conference games left, so we're going to focus on Friday's game. What we've seen from them is they're a very well coached program, and they're established program, and they have a lot of guys that are back from last year, and so their composure will be high, their confidence will be high coming in. We're expecting to mix and match on the mound, as far as the way they pitch with their breaking ball and all speed and fastball. So we'll prepare for that, the way they mix and match. And Coach Rustano will look at our gaps, and he'll try to exploit them. I mean, that's the way he coaches. He's going to look at, try to figure out the weakness and go, and we're going to look to adapt and close those gaps up and also apply pressure on our side.
Great. Well, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
So Coach McKay and his Knights will host the Sacred Heart Pioneers here at the Namoli Family Baseball Complex. It'll be a 3 o'clock start on Friday, and then first pitch will be 1 o'clock on both Saturday and Sunday. So make sure you're here. It's going to be a nice weekend here at the Namoli. I don't think there'll be too much rain in the forecast. I think things are starting to warm up, so come out here and support your Knights, and make sure you check back to FDUKnights.com for all things about the FDU baseball team.